Okay, today we're going to introduce Jensen Huang, right? The CEO of NVidia, right? Right now, is probably the biggest company in terms of the capital, on the market, right? 5 trillion something over. It's incredibly successful, right? But it's hard to stay on the top, right? What is to come for NVidia, and what is to come for Mr. Huang, right? Huang Renxun, right? Jensen Huang, right? Well, that's a wrong translation, right? But in any case, even he accepts it. So today is too important to me in order to piece together the story, right? We need to follow up for sure. We need to monitor and see, decipher how he, come to today, right? His story is fascinating, right? He used to work in some sort of a diner, and then from where he founded, that's where he founded the company. And through the years, doing the video kind of thing, right? The era of the Bitcoin's mining, right? It's kind of certainly pushed him to the center stage, and then, hey, AI catching up, right? Is doing, really well, right? I have to say that. I don't have to spend more time introducing to you that you all know. Now, this one, right? Today is important day. Last year this time, 11 months ago, CES, and today again is in Las Vegas, is the Consumer Electronics Show 2026, and he giving a keynote speech and also on stage for over an hour, right? Let's see how he's doing and what he has been talking about, right?
For our own use. Well, it turns out we have billions of dollars of supercomputers in operation so that we could develop our open models. I am so pleased with the work that we're doing. It is starting to attract attention all over the world.
We need to get a drink.
Industries, because we are doing frontier AI model work in so many different domains. The work that we did in proteins, in digital biology, La Proteina, to be able to synthesize and generate proteins, OpenFold 3 to understand the structure of proteins, Evo 2, how to understand and generate multiple proteins, otherwise the beginnings of cellular representation. Earth 2, AI that understands the laws of physics.
Wow, what's going on? What is going on? Did he say something wrong? Anything inappropriate? Mr. Huang? What's going on? Oh. Okay, let's leave that alone, right? I think a bit of technical glitch, right? Let's look at his story, right? Look at it, 1973. Came to US, right? Got into the school in Kentucky, right? Well, he used to watch in Thailand, right? I bet he watched it very clean, The guy has a passion, right? Look at his eyes. Then he got age of 15, right? He played third in the junior doubles of the U.S. Open table tennis, right? Ping pong球, right? Oh, well, that's impressive. And then ended up in tennis, the diner, right? That's when he was 15. See, the dishwasher is a busboy, and he's a waiter. Well, I bet again he's doing a good job there, right? Yeah. Now what we are interested in, however, is not how he, how clean he washed the toilet or clean the table. It's how he built up such a business like NVidia. Right? It's surely by luck, or the benevolence of the era, or what? Right? Can you do it? Can I do it? I mean, it's a good question, right? It's worthy of spend a moment and thinking about, right? Okay, he's pretty honest. That can be seen from his eyes, right? He's intellectually brilliant. That's even clearer, right? You can see. He has a very flat management kind of hierarchy, right? He manages like how many? 60 direct reportees. Wow. Like he might have an AI in his brain already, right? It's very, very impressive, right? First principles thinking. I don't know what it means, frankly speaking, when Elon Musk starting that first principles and first principles. I frankly don't get it. Maybe I'm just dumb, right? I don't believe there's any first principles, right? There are a lot of principles, right? Yeah, you mean, to breaking down to the fundamentals. That's fine. I mean, first principles, right? It's like you have to believe in something and believe in first principles. I'm gonna, maybe take a little deeper dive there to express my point. But again, well, quoted obviously. First principle thinking, and then relentless urgency. Wow, this executor, I guess, right? Quick to action, right? Our company is 30 days from going out of business. Wow. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter to us whether people believed in us. We believe in ourselves, and we had the courage to follow our path. Oh, that's incredible, right? And we're not going to read through the whole deck. We're going to selectively go through the major story, maybe jumping back and forth a bit, right? Okay, so here's the diner, right? He started there. 1999, this GPU spawned. CUDA, yeah, CUDA was really innovative. I have to say that, right? This man must be thinking day and night and really rolling his sleeves and getting down to earth, right? And working with people. Otherwise, you're going to miss this kind of strategic investment, right? And 2012, oh my God, big bang. NVIDIA DPU wants the ImageNet. I think this Jeffrey Hinton. I think they started in Toronto, like University of Toronto, right? And Ilya, I think Ilya was there, and Alex. And then that's when Fei Li was kind of struggling or challenged by, he built up the image thing, right? One of the pioneers. Very admirable, right? I think I might, do a little digging there and see how Fei Li is doing right now. He's certainly an important figure, probably be having a seat in our top 100, right? Okay, that's another day. But for today, what is it, right? Yeah, they're building the unbreachable ecosystem. Look at it, right? At the core was the GPUs, You know, I use a lot of those, right? I even have the latest Spark thing. Works wonder, right? Then CUDA, the software tier, building the deterrent, right? The wall, okay? And that's really the intermediary that you can directly, like a BIOS, right? Talk to the hardware. You don't have to spend a lot of time like writing the assembler. When I was young, I used to do that, right? It's quite challenging, right? You have to be very like you cannot be dumb, right? Frankly speaking, right? But that's not enough. You have to really sitting there hours and hours, very careful. It's painful memory, but it's also proud memory, right? And now CUDA, right? Like in effect, the whole AI thing will become CUDA to our previous era, if you will, right? It's going to be really, it's like a wall. Whether you get through that, you've been shielded from attacks, you've been rounded, right? And isolated in a way, right, from the reality. That's what AI is going to become. Right? Then the outer defenses, all kind of models, bio, nano, Nemo, new mode trend. I don't know what it is. I probably gonna find out, right? I think there can be some APIs, right? So the key insight is that it's not just selling chips, right? The hooking up the Taiwan chip maker, you know that that's not what he's doing. That is not. Yeah, this is the core business plan. This is doing more than that, right? It's a full stack of hardware, software, and a massive developer community. Right? I really love to be part of it. Right? I tried a few, but didn't have much time and success yet. Right? Certainly worthy kind of investigating. Right? Okay, now, so look at it. Right? The major thing is the CES, the Consumer Electronics, show a decisive pivot to the AI factory. What is that, right? A shift in focus. They're not going to produce any new get force GPUs, right? Instead, they're going to focus on the infrastructure. Right? I don't know if they're going to create NVidia cloud. I heard somehow they said, no, we're not going to do that. Maybe, I don't know yet to see, right? The keynote was entirely dedicated to AI. I mean, why not, right? The AI is the thing today, right? At least for this moment, right? And robotics. I guess he has some robotics, right? When I watched some of the other shows last year, remember he brought robots on stage and interacting, improvising some sort of songs and speech, and goes a thing there. An introduction of the next generation Vera or Robin platform. Okay, that's one thing beyond Black Power, I guess, right? This strategic insight. This wasn't the abandonment of the game, but the strategic, more like a refocus, if you will, is reprioritize the multi-trillion-dollar opportunity to power the global AI build out over the consumer market, right? One of the other things, just before it slipped my mind, right? Didn't he try to lobby the Congress to allow him to sell the H200 to China? But I don't know how successful that is, right? But this, newest, hardware and chips and things, I believe they're not allowed to sell to China, right? Well, that's the cider story we can dig into later on, right? Now, the Robin platform, the supercomputer on a chip. Okay. So what is it? Okay. They have some links, right? Make it interconnected faster, right? Our annual cadence of delivering a new generation of supercomputers, right, takes a giant leap towards the next frontier of AI. Okay, that's interesting. Need to really follow up mixture of experts kind of model, right? They're gonna sort of they're already integrated in Blackwell platform, right? How different is it? The Vera GPU, they have the Connect X Super NIC. That's the network card, right? It's connecting between the parts, right? And where's the memory goes? Just wonder, right? It's NVidia Robin. I guess, right? It allow different generations of like GPUs and hardwares playing together. I guess is that the core of the technology or the initiative? A spectrum, right? Ethernet switch, Bluefield DPU, but where the memory, right? I don't see that. Any case, so look at this, right? The Robin CPX, a new class of GPU for million token reasoning. Okay, it's the first CUDA GPU purpose built for massive context. Yeah, wow. Software engineering cursor, generate videos. Okay, agentic AI, some sort of magic, right? Is solving the tomorrow's bottleneck by engineering specialized silicon today, moving beyond simple acceleration to enable entirely a new capacity. Okay, makes sense, right? And well, is that Sam Altman? Where is Elon Musk? Oh, gonna deliver some DJX. Yeah, I like to use the DJX Spark, right? The 10 gigawatts. How many millions? The Vera Robin GPUs up to 100 billion intended investment from NVidia, right? There's no partner but NVIDIA that can do this kind of scale at the kind of speed. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, we're going to come down to Sam, right? He's an incredible person as well. But he's a very different individual, say that, right? Intelligent, smart in a very different way than Jensen Huang. I know. It's key to watch these kind of individuals, how they're going to play out on the stage, right? That's the stage we're going to build up. Hopefully we can speed up, but I'm so busy, really don't have much time. Okay, let's back to that. 3 bold predictions. NVIDIA will be the best. Well, let's see. Okay, the market will tell. Revenue-wise, okay, 60. I'm really interested to see the real innovation side, right? Innovation that sells is real innovation. Real innovation sometimes don't sell, but they still cannot say, well, it's not a good thing to have. Or what you don't sell today, then mean it's not going to be the best tomorrow, right? You have to have a balance. Like what NVIDIA started, right? It's not the best, right? It's not a cash cow per se, but he invested so much, right? He had to persuade and influence the whole team to believe in him, right? That's not an easy job. Okay, it's an incredible man. So we believe in ourselves. We had the courage to follow our path, right? Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, before we get into more, let's take a pause. I need to have a drink, right? I mean, not sure. Like if anybody has, I didn't really fully grasp what the Robin platform is about, right? If we put in a context like the NVIDIA full-stack architecture, it could be better, right? The unrelenting pace of hardware innovation, extreme core design, right? If you look at it, the Robin GPU, Vera GPU, right? The Bluefield 4 DPU, is that data processing unit? And the connecting that connects a NAND in IC, and then the NVidia link switch. Okay, so we must innovate across the entire stack simultaneously, right? From the silicon at the atom level and the networking at the giant factory level, right? It's quite a scale, right? This is called extreme core design, right? Okay, this is another view introducing the Vera Robin platform. A giant leap for AI factory. Okay. Breakthrough chips design simultaneously, 5 times Blackwell performance. Okay. Liquid cooling, copper cabling. Does it use silver? I made a quick thing on silver that's looking for that, right? Any case, we're not trying to bundle ourselves in the technological jargons, right? But look at the real life, though, right? We're gonna have to deliver something. The other day, as I've been telling you, that I've been sitting in the Tesla, right? I'm really impressed by the Elon Musk innovation with FSD. It's not perfect. It works in some conditions in North America, right? I think China has an entirely different approach and model, right? They use more radar, right? They not totally rely on the visual thing, right? But again, it's a different infrastructure, different environment, right? It's nothing that right or wrong, right? Any case, we look at this, right? AI is a full-stack thing. If you know that 7-layer kind of thing, right? The networking thing. If you're in the field, you should know what I'm talking about, right? The energy line, now the chips and system infrastructure, AI model applications. That's a good capture, right? Energy, right? Doesn't matter you're doing what, manufacturing using AI, automotive, healthcare, but essentially you need to consume energy, right? Okay. Where the position of people, maybe sitting on the top class of that, using applications, right? The AI model is on layer 4. I don't know if everyone agree, but it seems that NVIDIA is trying to capture all, right? And the new computing paradigm is reshaping the 10 trillion industry, right? Every 10 to 20 years, the computer industry resets. But frankly speaking, I don't really see any sort of true paradigm shift, right? Since the GPT 3.0 era, right? 2 years ago, right? Is anything really substantially paradigm shift? Maybe it yet to come, right? And 10 trillion of the computing infrastructure now being more modernized. Okay. And let's come back to our original point. I think what I try to piece together is how NVIDIA became so successful, right? I dig deeper, I dive into this, right? I think it is really that Jensen Huang is driving behind the things, right? I don't know who benefited, right? But he's certainly driving that, right? Partially because he's a brilliant mind. Another part of it, I mean, I'm assuming, right? The early year kind of not so smooth or hardship in his life played a factor, right? It tend to be not like to let people go, right? Even they're not performing on a particular task. That's extremely important trait, right, as a CEO, right? Others is that the reporting structure very flat, and he's really getting the first hand of the voice from the whole company. Right? That's also super important, right? And it seems he has an AI computer running in his mind already. Otherwise, how can he manage so much, right? He keep coming out a new generation of hardware, like Blackwell, Vera, Robin. I don't know, like how big the team is. Incredible, right? It's very difficult. The CUDA, this AI factory thing. I just wonder, is he going to the small computer, like the mini PC thing, the Spark, right? I hope that become more like consumer friendly. I would love to embrace it, right? Use it at my desktop, right? But yet to see, compared to what his vision, like capture the whole, how many trillion, like bottom to top. What I'm expecting is probably not that significant in his overall vision, right? Nevertheless, right, the consumer show, right, I would say that I don't know whether he has time to touch on that or not. Didn't really watch it over the full show, kind of long, right? Okay. He's trying to kind of power the whole ecosystem, right? Exponential growth, right? Open model essential. Okay, that's a good sign. Is he going to get into the open model, like open source part of it, right? It's a frontier AI model builder creating, okay, Nemotron, okay, Cosmos, Groot, Alpha Male. Oh, so very exotic name. Like how they come out with this thing, right? But what these models can do. Oh, the last one, Alpha Male, is more autonomous vehicles. The Groot is humanoid robots. The Cosmos is more like frontier open world foundational model. Okay. It's interesting to see, right? The body, right? The physical AI learns to interact. Like, try to watch Yang LeCun, the professor who is going to leave Meta, right? I guess they're not playing together well, right? But I'll see what he's going to come out, back in Europe, his home country, right? Like France, right? He's going to join the Mistral or starting his own company. I don't know. I have to follow up to see. What I'm trying to say here is that, the world model, like Li, has also been engaging probably startup, something, right? It's a fascinating kind of direction yet to see, right? But DeepMind, I think Dennis, the CEO of DeepMind, already started. I thought that some of the interviews he mentioned that he demonstrated how the world model kind of works, right? Those one of the dimensions, the directions, in addition to the transformer, architecture, right, that we need to pay some attention to. That motivates me, when it marked down like the Yang LeCun, Li, Dennis, and then some others we need to look into, make a short research and reporting back here, right? Okay, that's interesting. I've been through those. What is it? Okay, solving the problem, the bottleneck across the data center. Okay, what are you trying to solve, really? What are you trying to solve? What is it? It's not in the GPU, it's deep integration and core optimization of every component. Oh, okay. we try to solve the bottlenecks in the computer integration, mostly how the different components come together, right? That's interesting. Is that what the Robin of Vera is supposed to do? Maybe. Okay. The global race in their leadership. China, energy, US led chips and frontier model. 6 months ahead, right? Infrastructure, build, velocity, open source model, application, diffusion, 80% of social, societal opportunity. I think this is a good side, but do we know the bad side, right? The recent acquisition, miners I mentioned, right, by Meta, was a signal. It's not so pleasing, right? I think China yet to really build up the ecosystem, allow people to flourish, right? Entrepreneurs, they have to survive there, have to have a way to allow them to flourish, right? Not just they have to run away from China because they are talented, because they are successful, right? Those are something that I think China needs to look into, right? US, by the way, is way better, right? I'll say that the funding level, right? How they regulate the competition, right? The business fabric, right? How people subscribe and pay. It's pretty mature, right? But we advanced, say that. Some may say, oh, the US unfairly sanctioned China, this and that. That's competition, admit it. It is a war, right? They're all protecting their own interests, right? I mean, don't blame anybody. Maybe it's not, the most glorious, right, ethically or politically correct kind of thing to do. But, you cannot really blame them. They're protecting their own interest. Who would not, But again, if looking for the long term, should imagine, right? It's like a dream, right? If US and China collaborate, how faster, how much more kind of powerful that AI can become. Right? But, that's just the dream, right? I think people like Elon Musk and Jensen Huang and some others caught in between. Right? They all love to get into China, or they have some business previously in China. Do they have to pull out from China? I don't know. It is politics. It's politics. We don't want to get into there because I've never been in it. I don't understand a damn thing, right? So, but at least at some level, it should be some collaboration. Not, we're not really enemies, right? We still live in the same small blue planet, right? Thinking of the blue sky, deep space. That's where we should be really deeply thinking, prepared for, right? And who knows what hell is there, right? Do we have to prepare ourselves? I think we maybe in our best interest to do that rather than fighting internally, right? To regain who is going to dominate, who is not, the first principle, whatever. Forget that, right? Maybe one day they should forget that, right? At least in the AI part, it should be a unification, uniting things together rather than dividing the world, right? That's certainly my wish, right? I praise what Elon Musk saying, well, you're going to solve the poverty, right? I don't know. Maybe you can, but you have to treat, each and everyone with respect, acknowledge they're all equal, right? In a way, we're humans, right? It doesn't matter, right? What you say. We should benefit from AI, right? What is the way to benefit from AI, right? Does it have to be that you have to win and benefit everybody? But who can guarantee that if you win, then you're going to benefit everybody? I don't know, right? There's so many tycoons and riches in the US. What about the guys on the street? Do you benefit them? Or you deprive them from something that they, originally kind of had, right? think about it, right? We should use AI as a new force to benefit us all, and not try to divide and deprive some others, and in order to benefit some, right? Yeah, competition is okay. I mean, you're allowed to reap the benefit. If you work more, if you kind of innovated more, you contribute more. That's fine. At least you keep the bottom line, right? Not too low that they have to die for them, right? In our state, this bottom line got killed, right? It's good to see that not only the individual but also the companies who is going to fall in below that line, who is struggling from there to the top, right? Top 10, top 100, right? That's why we build up the state and see. Once we put things together, many subtle and small things make better sense, right? That's why I'm pieced it together, right? Like a person, we all have similar kind of, biological kind of behaviors, right? What can I say? So, all right, see, energy is new geopolitical bottleneck, right? Performance is in economic mode, right? Sure, I understand that. The financial crisis, financial case, data center dominates, right? Strong buy. Yeah, the financial side of it is very important, right? I invest a lot of stuff. That's where I'm from, by the way, right? Not only technology, but the governance, a legal part. I practiced that quite a bit as well. Maybe go back, take out the license, and run the law office, right? But again, it's not going to solve this problem, right? It has to be a balanced act. Right? There are better ways to benefit people, right? Whichever is more efficient, right? Whatever I can do, I'd love to do that, right? What is it? It's a new industrial revolution. The trend. Okay. I stand at the beginning of a new industrial revolution. It's too big a word, right? I don't know, like cadence and synapses, right? They're designing the chips and stuff, right? Omniverse, Siemens, still very powerful, right? They have a lot of IPs, technologies, right? But I don't know how they're doing in the AI era, right? Maybe some invisible, not very flamboyant part that's still dominating, right? Maybe I could find it out later on, right? But I don't want them to become another NVidia, right? Sorry, another, what is that, Denmark phone, Nokia, right? Sorry, then, used to be dominant, but later on they just disappeared. I don't know where they are now. Maybe they're still doing well, but I don't see them. They need to do better. The set stories like that, make sense. I build up the state and watch who is going to falling behind. You may be the golden child today, right? Everybody's cheer and best, like NVidia. But it could diminishing over once you made some fatal mistakes, right? It's very, very key to watch that. And I bet if Jensen Huang gave the NVIDIA to another seemingly smart CEO, it's going to decline. Right? It's not only that, change of hand, maybe some mistakes. In my opinion, the big companies like that, like big banks, even big countries, it's really in the hand of a couple, maybe 3, 5, not more than 5, really like solid human beings. They will determine the success, failure of that whole thing, right? Believe it or not, you don't need 1 million people to make it successful. I mean, you do need 1 million people to make it successful, but they are more the hands, the limbs, but the brain, right? The actual heart. You don't need more than like 5 human beings to run it or ruin it, right? Ruin it, right? You see that too many times, right? Another example, try to see how Larry Erickson is trying to rescue Oracle now, right? That guy, what is his name? Sun Zhengyi, right? I don't know his Japanese name. SoftBank, that's the CEO. He's an interesting character. Right? We might investigate a bit more, right, on him as well. Right? He's pulling out the things from NVidia. Why? I don't know. Maybe he need to have another bold, audacious move, right? He's kind of doing that through the years, right? Well, it's good to observe, right? Too many things we need to watch, right? Okay, the culture engine, an anti-CEO philosophy. Remember, we tried to piece together his life story, a success story. I didn't really separate him from NVidia. They probably one or the other, right? Without Jensen Huang, there's no NVidia. Right? Without NVidia, you don't want to know Jensen Huang either. Right? Resilience through discomfort. Okay, sure, it's character, right? But we'll touch them to greatness. I think he gave a sort of lecture or something like in Stanford or Yale. I can't remember exactly. He said, "Gentlemen, right, so not gentlemen, the young students, right, very talented, smart eyes, and intelligent. The start of tomorrow, right? They have everything. They must be from rich families, otherwise they're not for studying there. They're brilliant, they're smart, right? They're young, but they have one thing that probably that lacking of, right? That is the suffering in life, right? The hardship in life. That's very important. I believe that builds your character, right? And if you never suffered, I don't know whether you're going to be successful or not, right? Like Elon Musk, right? Everybody wants to have his money, for sure, right? Billions and billions, right? They kind of do. But do you want to live his life? I guess not, right? It's kind of extremely hard, I have to say that. I don't want to be like Elon, right? I don't know if he has a life. He's dedicated to us, probably. I don't know how much life he has for himself, right? That's where you need to look at that the part, right? Looking at how these individuals work so hard, right? It's a passion driving that, and not just a salary, a paycheck, not something that because their boss telling them to do it. No, it cannot be, right? Nobody will be working that hard and come up with so much innovation, if they actually had a boss, right? Of course, there are shareholders, some other beneficiaries, behind the scenes, the financiers, the tycoons, all this kind of stuff. We never get into those stuff, right? That's there. And then thinking about this, right? And, the conspiracy kind of stuff, right? If you were there, you're probably even worse, right? Don't take that way, right? They all do their part. As a whole, it's still kind of part of the whole ecosystem, let's say that, right? Or manufactured urgency. Okay, we have 30 days from going out of business. Oh, the other kind of famous kind of thing, right? What do you want to write on your tombstone? I don't know. But if you die tomorrow, direct ground truth. Okay, top 5 things. T5T. Oh, why not T2T? Email system allows any employee to communicate directly with Jensen Huang. Well, unconventional high intensity culture is a key component of that. Oh my God. Oh, that's good. Look at the next 2 decades, advanced humanity, more than all of the human history combined, right? Really? I'm not a strong believer, but maybe industrially, on the material level, on the intelligent level. But what about the biological things? Like, what about the fabrics, how we live together, right? Like, a lot of big issues more than AI can handle, right? If you can solve the poverty problem, solve the healthcare, and make it a more just and fair, caring kind of society globally, right? Not just one country, right? Then that'd be a testimony, right? You could say we're going to be more for the advancement of science, more for advancement of industry, and more for the nation. What about the world? Eh? In the next 2 decades, potential all of it going to combine and past. How long do you want to trace back to the past? But it's encouraging to see that, right? Okay, let's take a pause. I need to take a sip of water, thinking through how far, how much you have got about this one, right? Okay, let's continue, right? Jensen Huang, right? The visionary. Like he's looking at me. When he look at me, Mr. Huang, the visionary from dishwasher to architect of the AI era. Oh my God. It's impressive, right? I think you got an impression, right? This core philosophy is built on the first principle of thinking long-term conviction. And I believe that no task is beneath a leader. He famously worked as a dishwasher in Danny's, he's cleaning toilet, right? Oh, now he's shaping the AI era, right? It's quite an incredible journey, right? And this Danny, right? Dennis, right? Today, really, yesterday in Las Vegas, right? Reviewed the shared future, right? The electronic show, right? The industry titan, right? You look at it, right? So they're all coming together, right? And look at this. A century built a physical world, 100 years of engineering excellence, global footprint, a heavy industry kind of standard, right? Kit pillar, that's what it means, right? I don't know much about that, but I'm interested in this AI factory thing, right? It's a new type of data center, right? CUDA, okay? Blackwell, CUDA, right? CUDA it's key. Like think of the DeepSeek, right? I mentioned Liang Wenfeng, the CEO of DeepSeek, right? I think they have break this fault, right? He had some innovation that they can train the foundational model without CUDA because they don't really have the most advanced chips either, right? They could run like CUDA. They created something like a framework. They could act if it is a Chinese version of the CUDA, but running on different chipset like Huawei, right, and some other domestic chip makers, right? That needs to be really kind of pay some attention there, see whether it's true or not. But certainly, right, it's not innovation. It's an innovation, but it's not really just try to mimic what CUDA has been doing, right? Each voyage, hopefully in Europe and in some other countries, come up with more of this, right? Where there are competitions, there's urgency, right? You have to really, that's what the market force in play, right? And that's good. That benefit us all. But if you play alone, kind of lonely, right? Probably you're not going to reach your best, right? Because you're also learning from whoever you're competing with, right? The new industrial revolution is forging the new economy, the AI factory at the time. Okay, cool. That's good. Look at you have to have data-driven tools, autonomy, artificial intelligence. By the way, right, like in some of the mining, right, in China, right, they already use the kind of AI models. I think DeepSeek or coin I mentioned that, right? It's already in play. Okay, in desert, they try to make it into a green line, right? It's already incredible. Like they had successfully harvest fishes from desert, right? Much of the research and development, actual engineering part, agriculture, they're benefiting from it. Yeah, right? I think that's the way you really try to solve the world problem rather than just drawing the picture or something, right? There are plenty of those problems to be solved, right? And this is okay. They try to, yeah. Any case, not spend too much time here. The age of AI has begun. Well, I used to, when I was really young, I used to build up these data centers, right? From the using my bare hand, right? Give me a floor, not even furbished, right? I don't know how hard is it, right? Okay. But in any case, now we're back to 30, 40 years ago, right? Ground zero. Okay, let's pause for another minute, and then we'll try to wrap up. It's kind of already late. Okay, let's look at the 6 trillion trajectory, right? It's projected revenue 350 billion, right? Projected market cap is 6.5 trillion. Wow. Well, let's see some competition, right? So NVidia is obviously there, 4.6 kind of trillion, right? Capitalization, US, right? USD. Microsoft is 3.51. Apple is 3. Okay. Whoa. Google, that's Alphabet, right? And Amazon, Meta, and Tesla. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. That's why we call it 7 sisters, right? We might do a little, show about these 7 sisters, right? So the most valuable company per market capitalization, right? Yeah. Well, again, there's different ways of capturing that, right? Financial fortitude. The financial and technology and law and regulatory compliance part is our focus. We're going to see. We'll have to do build up the state. It makes sense. Otherwise, I can't keep telling all the details. It makes no sense at all to you, right? To majority of you. All right. The cadence of innovation. 1 year they come up with something, right? Now, what is it? Alpha Male released an open source platform for autonomous driving featuring 10 billion parameters. Oh my God, chain of thought, reasoning, react kind of thing, right? You have to reasoning and you try to adjust itself, take some actions, right? That's the framework, right? Alpha Sim is framework open source simulation, AV development. Another way of looking at it is the CPX, which shows a new era. Oh my God, it's kind of interesting, right? Again, various cycles of the AI sovereign. Okay. Yeah, this is a concept of sovereign cloud, right? Which I'm going to look at what Danny's, Anthropic and AWS and Azure folks looking at. But for today, it's for Jensen Huang. We're going to wrap up soon. Of course, we're going to return. Let's just build the stage. Hopefully, when we come back, whatever I've been talking about makes sense to you. Right? Okay, let's wrap it up with a bit of another view, right? Jensen Huang, right? The NVidia, right? What is biography, right? Early life. This is a 63 in Taipei, right? And got into US 10 years old, right? And then, right, the education's got electronic engineering, and then Stanford, right? Okay. Dishwasher, wow. Designer at AMD, technical officer, LSI. Okay, and then if you look at the NVidia, he found it in Danny Diner, right? Table, 1993, invented GPU, pivoted to deep learning. This is significant breakthrough or turning point, right? Now, 6 trillion company globally, right? And then we're going to look at the key predictions. The best performer, the Magnificent Seven, we call it Seven Sisters, right? Market cap 6 trillion. Wow. And the technology platform Robin is more of Vera CPU. Oh, Vera is the CPU. Okay. Robin the GPU. NVIDIA Link, 6 switches, Bluefield, 4 GPU. I guess this is data. I don't know what it is, right? This is physical AI and robotics, Cosmos World Foundation model. Okay, that's what he's talking about, the world model, right? Physical. Is that robotic platform? Okay, this is Omniverse Digital Twins. Wow, what a lot of innovation there. Autonomous vehicles, Alpha Male reasoning model, the Mercedes-Benz partnership. Interesting. Okay, and then strategic partnership. I mean, with everybody. OpenAI, Siemens, and Microsoft, Fairwater, Silver Factory, the leadership philosophy, first management structure, flat, okay, intellectual honesty, first principle kind of thinking, low expectation, resilience, right? Oh, obviously he's doing some philanthropy, right? Has some foundation and to State University, Stanford, and where he studied. That makes sense, right? But in any case, let's close up in an hour close, right? We'll continue for sure. We're going to come back many times more and following through Mr. Jensen Huang's doing, right? Okay, this is where we started, right? So the architect, right? He has been through a lot of things, right? NVidia thing is one of the other, right? In my opinion, became the architect, the AI, and powered the engine of the AI revolution, right? It's kind of impressive, right? But remember, that's him. Okay, that's where he started. He had a lot of innovation for sure, success. Hope we'll learn from him, right? Keep doing good. Obviously, play well with all these folks, right? Let's see if we can reach like 100 trillion in capital market capitalization, right? Let's see. There's a lot of potential, right? It's still young. Okay, that's for today. Thank you.
就当歌，人生几何？譬如朝露去日苦读。